The Oculus Quest 2 is by far one of the most popular VR headsets currently on the market. And looking at the Quest 2, there's really no question as to why. It is one of the cheapest VR headsets you can currently get. And not only that, but it looks amazing to run VR applications through this. And it is one of the few standalone headsets that you can get requiring no PC and no wire in order to get up and running in no time. But for many new developers, it can be a little bit confusing on how to connect your PC to a Quest 2 and then package and deploy a project to your Quest 2 for testing. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how to package a project as well as connect a Quest 2 to your PC. So that way you can get up and running in no time. But before we go and jump into that, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see even more just like this one, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. And with that, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. All right, first off, let's start out with what you need to do on your Quest 2 through the phone. So to start out, you're going to want to open up your Oculus app. Now, I already have mine open on my phone right here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go over into your devices and you're going to want to locate whatever Quest you are currently running. So I'm currently using a Quest 2 and that's what I actually have pulled up right here. And you're going to want to go into developer mode and you're going to want to make sure that is enabled. That's going to be the first thing that you're going to want to do for the Quest. Once you have developer mode enabled on your Quest 2, the next part I don't really have any great way of showing, so I'm going to very briefly just explain what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to plug in your Quest 2 to your PC, and then you should get two prompts on your Quest 2. The first one should be asking if you want to allow USB debugging. The second one will be asking if you want to allow for the PC to access the files on the Quest 2. You're going to want to allow both of these. And I typically, for allow USB debugging, there's usually a little checkbox that asks if you always want to trust this PC. I always hit that as well, since it's a PC that I personally use and it's one that I trust. If it's not a PC you use all the time or you don't trust it for whatever reason, that's probably not going to be something you're going to want to click though. And that's all that we really need to do on the Quest side. All right, with everything out of the way on the Quest side of things, let's now go ahead and jump over to our PC. So there's going to be a couple things you're going to want to do here. So first off, we want to make sure that we have ADB, or the Android Debug Bridge, set up and installed on our computer. Now I won't go fully into this because I think that'll make this tutorial take way too long. There are plenty of tutorials, but I'll briefly explain one way that you can make sure that you have ADB correctly installed. If you've ever used Android Studio, you likely already have installed. So what you're going to want to do to make sure it's installed is go ahead and open up Android Studio, go into File and Settings, and under Appearance and Behavior, System Settings, and Android SDK, you're going to want to go into this tab right here, SDK Tools, and then you're going to want to check to see if Android SDK Platform Tools is installed. And you can actually see I'm actually available for an update right now. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I've been using ADB for quite a while and it seems to have been working pretty well so far, so I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. And if you want to double check as well and make sure that ADB did correctly install through Android Studio, you can actually go right into Command Prompt. And there's a couple things we can check. First one is we can simply type in ADB, and that will spit out all this that you may or may not understand. But what I would mostly want to look for in here is just to make sure that we have a version installed. You can see right now I have 31.0.0.2-7242960. That is a huge mouthful. And you can actually see where it's installed as well. And then if you want to make sure that your Quest 2 is hooked up correctly, so I actually have mine plugged in right now, USB debugging is enabled. You can actually then scroll all the way back down and we can actually type in ADB devices. And you'll actually see that we have a device hooked up and it goes by 1WMHH84. I'm not going to spit all that out, but you can see that's a device. And I can actually double check this as well. If I go ahead and unplug my Quest 2, I can run it again and you'll see that that device is gone. And I can go and plug it right back in. USB debugging is always enabled for this PC. So all I have to do is run it again. You'll see that it's right back there. And that's all that we really need to do there. So next, let's go ahead and create a project and we can go through the project settings and all the things that we need to do in order to actually package and run our project on the Quest 2. So go ahead and open up your Epic Games Launcher. I'm going to be doing this in Unreal Engine 5 Early Access. Many of these same settings will apply though for Unreal Engine 4, just so you're aware. And we'll go ahead and launch that. And this is going to take just 1 sec, so I'll be right back once that's all done and opened. I now have it open, so it'll typically open up in recent projects. However, I have projects that I can't show on video. So I have it open in games. And you're going to want to go right over here to virtual reality. Now in Unreal Engine 4, you'll also have a virtual reality template that you can start with. You don't necessarily have to start with a virtual reality template. It is possible to start with a first person, third person, whatever the case may be. However, I find that if you start with virtual reality, you'll typically have just a little bit less setup that you'll have to do later on. Enabling starter content, that's entirely up to you. I'm going to go and leave that enabled for now. And I'm just going to call this Quest 2 Setup. That's going to be the project name for me. And we'll just go ahead and hit create. There's going to be, again, a little bit of waiting that you have to do while the project's all getting set up. So I'll go ahead and be right back once all that is, again, set up. So now that we have the project open, this is where things are going to pretty much be the same between Unreal Engine 4 and Unreal Engine 5. So let's start with the plugins. There's going to be a couple plugins you're going to want to make sure of. So going down here to virtual reality, you're going to want to make sure that Oculus VR is enabled. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is just going to make sure that we're able to package for the Oculus VR headset. There is one thing that I do want to double check for though, and that's going to be XR. And where is it? OpenXR. So OpenXR, this is something I've had a problem with quite a bit, especially recently. I would suggest disabling this. You can actually see this as beta. I would always suggest disabling this. I've been having so many problems with the OpenXR plugin. It's insane how many problems I've been having. So I would always suggest disabling OpenXR and then restarting the project. So I'm actually gonna go and do that right now. And then I'll be right back once the project is restarted, and then we'll go and jump right into the project settings. So now at this point, you should have the plugins all set up. You should have ADB installed and configured for Windows. So you should pretty much be good to go all on that front. Next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to jump into our project settings. Now there's going to be quite a bit of work here. A lot of it's going to be pretty simple. So let's go ahead and start over here in our project settings. We'll go to start with the maps and modes. And this is going to be, so starting out with our maps and modes, you want to make sure that you have the correct game default map set up. The game default map is going to be whatever map our game is going to start on once we have it packaged and deployed to our Quest. If you're on Unreal, any version of Unreal, you should already have the default VR template set up here in the game default map. I already do. The VR template map is what I've been using. So you should be pretty much all good to go there. Next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go into Engine and Input. And you're going to want to make sure that default touch interface is set to none. You want to make sure that there's nothing here. If there is something here, just go and click on this drop down. You're going to want to hit clear down here in current asset. That'll clear our default touch interface since we don't need a touch interface. And then next thing we're going to want to do after that is we're going to want to go down into Android. You're going to want to make sure that we are configured for the Android platform. So I'm going to go and hit configure now. You'll see that it just switches to platform files are writable. And you should be pretty much all good to go there. You're going to want to make sure that the minimum SDK version is set to 23 and our target SDK version is set to 25. That's going to be the recommended version for the Quest. I believe they actually changed it up a little bit for the Quest 2. Then you're going to want to look for the, where is it? KitKat. Here we go. Enable full screen immersive on KitKat and above devices. You're going to want to make sure that this is set to true as well. And then scrolling down just a little bit more, it should be down here in advanced APK packaging. You'll see a section here for package for Oculus mobile devices. You're going to want to make sure that you have, at the very least, the Quest 2 set up here. As you can see, you can remove either of these if you'd like. It's currently set for both the Quest and Quest 2, which works perfectly fine for us. So you're just going to want to make sure that those are both set as well. Last thing, next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to then we're then going to want to jump into our Android SDK and make sure that we're all set up here. Now, this is going to kind of vary depending on whatever version of Unreal you're running on. And let me talk a little bit about this because this is going to vary a little bit depending on your version. So I'll actually leave this as a link in the description if you'd like to look at this. But Unreal actually recommends for specific Unreal Engine versions, a specific version of the SDK. The SDK actually comes with Android Studio. I believe right now I have Android Studio 4 on my version of Unreal Engine 5. And to go along with that, I have the NDK R21B. So you're going to want to make sure that you have Android Studio installed. And if you want to know where the SDK is actually stored, we can actually check that as well. So let's go and run down this list. So starting with the SDK, and if you want to find out where it is stored, go and open up the Android Studio, and you're again going to want to jump into settings. And right here under Android SDK, this right here is our SDK location. Now, as you can see, you can edit that and change that around if you'd like. However, I've just used this path for our SDK, and you'll actually see once we go back over here, that is the same path I have here for our SDK as well. The NDK is going to be a little bit different. I believe it is something you can install in Android Studio. However, I chose not to. I have R21E, not B. So I actually have R21E, so that will work just fine as well. But for the NDK, I'll leave all these links in the description just to make sure it's all clarified. You're going to want to go in here and you're going to want to download whatever version of the NDK you want. So this right here is NDK R23. And you can actually go back to older unsupported versions if you just click down here on this link. Yes, I agree. And like I said, currently I'm on R21E. So once you download this zip, it will come to you as a folder. So let me go and show you what this looks like. So I actually moved mine to my documents folder, and this is my folder that I use, the Android NDK R21E. And you'll have all these files once you unzip the project that you've downloaded. And this is going to be the folder that you're going to want. And you'll actually see once we go right into here, it's just the same name as that folder that I've put in documents. The JDK is going to be kind of a weird thing. It's not listed here in the Android SDK and NDK compatibility. So you're going to want to go, I believe I'm running Java SE16 if I recall. So you're just going to want to download the JDK. It'll be a whole installation procedure, and you're going to want to remember where that install is. So for me, it goes in the program files, and it's under the Java folder. And you can see JDK 1.8.0_291. And I can actually show you that as well real quick. If we actually go here into program files, Java. And you can see I actually have a couple things here in Java, but this is the JDK that I am currently using. So JDK 1.8.0. So it's just going to be a simple installation. Just go ahead and run through the install process and then input that folder into here. And that's going to be it in terms of the SDK. The last thing that we're going to want to do is going to be over here in our rendering. And here we're just going to want to make a couple of quick changes. And a lot of this should be set up for Unreal Engine 5. So you're going to want to make sure our, going down the list, we're going to want to make sure our maximum number of CSM cascade renders is set to 2. Our mobile MSAA is going to be 4x. And the last thing we want to make sure of is, where is it? Should be down here somewhere. Did I miss it? I think I may have. Nope, here it is. Mobile HDR. So I always disable mobile HDR, and that's pretty much all we need to do here in our project settings. Last thing we need to do is we actually need to package this and send it to our Quest 2. So if we actually go down here, you can actually see, so for me it's under platforms. I believe on Unreal Engine 4 it's under build if I recall. But anyways, you can actually see if we go under Quest 2, I can actually straight up just send this straight to the Quest 2 package and everything. However, I want to go through a whole package, show you how to make a package, send it to your desktop, and then put it to a Quest 2. So that way you can actually send that same package to other people if you would like, anything like that. So on Unreal Engine 5, I'm going to go down here to Android, and I'm going to do package project. And like I said, I'm going to store it here in desktop. So go and select that folder, and it'll actually start packaging our project. So this will actually take some time. It may take more or less time for you depending on your project and all that. But so I'm just going to let this go ahead and run through, and I will be back once everything is all packaged and we're all good to go. Now at this point, you should finally have a packaged project that you can actually put onto a Quest or Quest 2. That was pretty much it. I know that there was a lot of information in that whole video, in this whole video up until now, but that's pretty much all you need to do. So now how do we actually get this onto a Quest or Quest 2? Well, there's a couple different ways you can actually go about doing this. Unreal actually provides one way in the package folder. So if you actually go to wherever you package your project to, you should have a folder called Android. So if we go and open this up, you'll have 3 files. One called install Quest 2 setup, Quest 2 setup-arm64.apk, and uninstall. The install and uninstall are both Windows batch files that Unreal provides when you package the project, and both of these will actually install or uninstall to a Quest or Quest 2, supposing that your PC is actually detecting your headset. Now, this is certainly one option if you just want to real quick install it. You don't want to worry about installing any other software, anything like that. And that's perfectly fine. However, I personally don't prefer to use these Windows batch files for my installations. What I typically prefer to do is use either SideQuest or the Oculus Developer Hub. Now I'll actually leave a link to both of these down below if you want to actually try and install these yourselves. I'm going to use the Oculus Developer Hub to show you how to do this though. So we can actually go ahead and open it up. I actually already have it here. And you can actually go right over here into, my device. And here under apps, you'll actually see a section here that says add an APK. So we're going to want to go and open that. And we're going to want to just take our APK file and drag it right into there. And that will install. And you can actually see it started the install. Now, if you want to do with SideQuest, I'll go and show you real quick as well for SideQuest, if that's something you likely already have installed if you have a PC. So first you're going to want to make sure your Quest is detected up here. Then right over here, you'll see an install APK. It's going to be this little box with an arrow pointing down. You click on that, and then you simply go to wherever your APK is and install that APK. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward in both ways. All you have to do is just navigate to your APK and the software will take care of the rest. And here in the Oculus Developer Hub, you can actually see it just says that it finished. And this is the file, this is the app itself, com.epicgames.quest2 setup. So now let's go ahead and let's go and jump into the Quest and let's go and make sure that all this actually was configured correctly. All right, so I've actually disconnected my headset. You should be able to see it in the video, hopefully. So that way you can see that I'm not hooked up to the PC or anything. So if you actually want to find your projects after you've installed them, they actually don't show up in the install in your apps. So they actually show up in a separate tab called unknown sources. So you can actually see I have 3. So the one we're actually concerned with is the Quest 2 setup, since this is the one that I had just installed. So if we go and click on this, this will actually open our project, and we should be all good to go once we have this open. There we go. And you can see everything is here. It's all working just fine. You can see I currently have 2 Vive wands. This is actually because of the way that Unreal set up. It actually defaults on the player. It specifies that it wants to use the Quest wands. However, I believe there are models for the Oculus Touch controllers. I think they're Quest 2 controllers too. I may be wrong about that though. But you can actually see, there we go. We got our hand set up, and actually yes, I can still teleport around and everything. So you can actually see everything still works. I can grip and grab things, although that is not the correct orientation for a Quest controller. And you can see that everything still functions as it should. Actually, if I go over here, there's some audio in here too. I can hear too the fire running in the background. There you go. And yeah, like I said, everything works exactly as it would in a standard Steam VR or any other PC VR headset. So yeah, so that is everything working just fine. That's also the rotating as well. And with that, that is the whole setup that you need in order to not only connect your headset, but also how to package a project and then upload a project to a Quest headset. I know there's a lot in this overall video, so hopefully it helped you out. If it did and you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button down below. And with that, I will see you in the next reality.